is over.
Hey guys, I'm Wrestling Daze, and you're listening to the Insiders Wrestling Podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Joe from the Insiders, and we are here with another community interview. We are pleased to have with us today Dave, and you all know him as Dave in real life. So this is Dave. Dave, man, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's really cool.
Absolutely, man. We were just discussing where Dave is from. So Dave, we all obviously we know you're from England. You had just mentioned you're from where exactly?
Yeah, I'm actually in Castleford in West Yorkshire, which is a little mining town. So.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Well, listen, it's great to have you. Always love having community members on board. And I know you're always in the streams, always in chat, active in the community. How long have you been with the community, and how did you find Daze?
I found Wrestling Daze about a year and a half ago. We just, I've been to collecting wrestling figures, or I was looking to start collecting them. So I just went onto YouTube, started looking at people what were already collecting, and found some of Wrestling Daze's videos. Spent 3 or 4 hours just watching loads of them back to back, and it started from there really.
Okay, very cool. So are you still a collector now?
Yeah, on and off. It's really hard to collect while all this is going off with the pandemic and that. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I collect whenever I can. So
okay. It seems like a lot of people have found Daze through the collector side. Obviously, we all know he was doing that before he did the wrestling streams. So you said you've been with the community about what, a year, over a year now?
I've pretty much started on the live streams around about Elimination Chamber last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on and off because of work, but
Yep.
I do try to be involved as much as I can when I'm not working. So.
Yeah, we see you a lot in there. So, that's awesome. Well, I mean, let's get right into it. So how long have you been watching wrestling?
Oh, yeah, 50 years plus.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it started when I was really young. Used to have a wrestling program on a Saturday afternoon called World of Sport. Yeah, I just vaguely remember watching that with my cousin and my brother. Used to always try and beat them two up because they were older than me. So I don't know how much of the wrestling I actually watched, but yeah, I enjoyed beating them up. So.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of us have all started in, that same era. I always mention this. Saturday morning wrestling was, for me, that was what got me started. We had it on right around noontime on Saturdays here. And, that's how I got started with early WWF. And, some of the other leagues I know were shown then too from a station that was out of New York here. So I started the exact same way. Who were some of your favorites back in the day?
Well, from WWF, I've always been a Bret Hart fan.
Okay.
Right from him being in tag team Art Foundation right up till he went to WCW.
You must have enjoyed Brandy's Bret Hart video that she did.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
yeah.
enjoyed that.
She did a great job with that. Bret is obviously an icon of wrestling, and was such a big personality back then, and just kind of grew and grew and grew. It was, he came in mostly with the tag team, and then as it went on, his character just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, Bret is an absolute icon of the business. So, yeah, definitely. So, we'll go from yesterday to today. So, I mean, who today has caught your eye? Who are you following the most of the wrestlers today?
I don't think you'd be surprised by this, but it's definitely Bray Wyatt.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, I think his character's absolutely brilliant. I just wish they'd do more of the old school segments, from last year with
Yes.
the Funhouse.
Yep.
I think it's more promo based now, and it's just there's not really to delve into anymore. It's almost, too predictable, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did change those. I know that they were saying how they were filmed in when we were talking to Jason Baker, he was saying how they filmed them in Tom Savini's studio. So makes sense where now, they're kind of more backstage, more little like vignettes than they are an actual studio. So yeah, well, look, that seems to be a very common thing with everybody. That character has brought a lot of us from when we left to come back, and just keeps us going week after week after week. What attracts you about that character?
Oh, it just feels very old school with the gimmick. It's just something that when I got attracted to like WWF when I was younger, it was just the gimmicks. Like you've got the big boss man, the Mountie, and all them kind of guys, and it just fits into that, but it's very modern. And the twist with the Funhouse is just brilliant.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, we're going to have to ask you this question, and if you listen to our podcast, you should know what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you get into horror? Because, a lot of people who like Bray love horror stuff. So, and if the answer is yes, I got to ask you, give me your favorite horror film.
Very easy to answer. I'm a massive Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
Nah, Jeff
Good
got to
stuff.
like that.
That's good stuff right there, buddy. Joe and I both are huge horror movie fans. I'm sure you know that by listening to us. So, that's definitely the standard question. That's the question that we have to ask. So here's a question for you. This is a little bit different. So you said Nightmare on Elm Street. Round us out a top three. What are your top three favorite horror films?
Right. Well, other than Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, other than Nightmare on Elm Street. We'll count that as one.
Oh, all right. I love The Exorcist.
Classic.
Yeah. I actually like The Omen as well.
Okay.
That's another classic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear Joe's story about The Exorcist? He's scarred for life.
Yeah, yes. The Omen didn't bother me as much. I don't know why. There was a real creepiness factor to that, and he was a creepy kid. But that one didn't bother me so much. I guess the special effects in The Exorcist, I think, was what got me. And just like I said, all the stuff that to this day, I told everybody I cannot watch it. I will not watch the new version with the spider walk business. Nope. It's funny because when we talked about this the last time, I went on my phone and I was looking up something and it brought up the GIF of that. And I'm like, no. And I quick put my phone down. But yeah, all classic movies. Very classic. Yeah. The Omen's one you don't hear about very much, but it's a very, very creepy film.
The Exorcist. Most scary thing about that for me is I'm not a person for flares or long hair. So that scared me more than the film. I couldn't watch it because it was set in the 70s and that. So, but then when I finally did sit and watch it, I loved the horror aspect of it.
I can watch some of the sequels. I can't. I don't. Part 2 was terrible. I think the third one I enjoyed actually. So I can watch some of them, but yeah. The first one, yeah, nope. There's things where I'll draw the line with. I can watch any gory thing ever. But it's the demonic possessed kids. Nope, I'm out.
Just watch Repossessed.
Oh yeah, no.
Comedy film. Yeah, just watch that. It'd be better.
My friends watched the series. I think they made an Exorcist series actually for television. And a couple of people I knew watched that and they were saying it was pretty creepy, but I'm like, yep, nope, absolutely not. Well, there you go. We always have to ask that question because we know it's really, it's such a common theme. everybody who likes this character really seems to enjoy horror films. I think, Bray, I think is just doing a brilliant job with the creativity behind it, with the story behind it. We've heard so much in past interviews from Kyle Scarborough and from Jason himself about his creative mind. And, you got to love it. I mean, we'll ask you this too, because again, this is another one everybody talks about. Would you like to someday see a film devoted to that character?
Yeah, I can see it. If they can make a, they did an horror film with Kane, didn't they? See No Evil.
Yeah.
So I can see them doing a Fiend movie. I mean, the backstory's there.
It is.
So, to see it visualized in a film where anything goes would be brilliant, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah, man, I agree. It was, I mean, his character is just so well fleshed out, and again, him telling the story is just amazing. As long as they let him do what he wants, and I'm hoping that continues. What did you think about them giving him the title, and what did you think about him losing the title? So a lot of people are saying he got it too early. Do you agree with that? And then what do you think about the match with Goldberg?
Him getting the title when he did, I weren't too bothered, to be honest. I don't think it really matters when they put the title on him or not. Putting the title on him meant that he could pick and choose who were challenging him, rather than him having to pick a challenge, or to challenge people. People had to come to him to challenge him. Right. Yep. So it changed it a little bit. Goldberg winning. Well, WWE had a plan at the time to switch titles over to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but obviously everything's changed now with pandemic and stuff, so they had to rewrite everything. Yep. And I think Goldberg even said that his character was like a superhero, and he shouldn't be losing to what would be the villain. I think his demands were just ridiculous, to be fair. Yeah. He had to cave into it because Goldberg at the time, it was a big name at the time. It's just as referred to a lot of people as Oldberg now. So
the worst jackhammer you have ever seen. Yes.
That was a Jill hammer, not a jack.
Was it. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree with those points. I agree with the point about where maybe he got the title a little bit too soon. They put it on him too soon, but yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. And then the Goldberg thing, just shouldn't have happened. Obviously Vince went with his dollar signs there over reality, and then just talked himself into the fact that Bray would get a great match with Cena. But on the other hand, I'm we talk about this on Abby's, is I'm happier when he doesn't have it, to be honest. I know there's people out there who say they want it back. I don't think so. And I really don't think he should beat Braun, because I think the character is better without it. And you pointed that out. So yeah. Well, have you ever been, have you seen any matches live?
Yeah, I went. I've only actually been to only one event live, and that was last year. I went to a WWE live event in Leeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was able to see The Fiend against Seth Rollins in a street fight. So.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, there were also Becky against Sasha Banks. Oh. That were opening match.
Wow, that's good.
Just all kinds of different matches on. So yeah. Even got to see AJ Styles, which it's one of them things where you just think that you wouldn't get to see. So wow, I'm pleased that I've got to see them kind of superstars while I can. Do hope to go to more events in the upcoming years. So
that's good, man. Where did you have good seats?
I was pretty far back, to be honest, but yeah. Interesting though. Jake Wrestle News were also at that same event, but he was right near the ringside. So.
Oh, Jake was there. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him on Twitter about it. Ages
wow.
ago. it were interesting to find somebody, because he's from Leeds, so that's on it next town from me.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So,
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to see a live match. We try to talk to a lot of people about that, getting that experience and stuff like that. But yeah, I know they only have a couple events near you guys, right? I think it's only 1 or 2 events during the year.
yeah, we it's two.
2 events,
Two
yeah.
tours what come over to England.
Yeah.
I mean, these kind of like rumours that a pay-per-view might be coming over here in the next couple of years, which I really hope happens, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Daze talked about that, I think, didn't he? That they were looking to get like a bigger event there.
Oh yeah, I'd love them to do a big event over here. Even if it's something like the Crown Jewels, what they do in Saudi Arabia, I'd be pleased with that.
Yeah.
Like a one-off event. So
now, what else do you watch? I mean, other than obviously we know you do all the WWE stuff. I mean, do you do NXT? Do you do AEW? Do you do any of the other shows also?
Wrestling-wise, massive NWA fan.
Oh, hey, there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I absolutely love that promotion. I love what they're doing right now. But I'd slightly edge them over WWE at the minute.
I would agree, and I think Jeff does too.
Yeah. I cannot disagree with that. I think that from week to week, they're probably the most consistent of any of the promotions out there right now. They constantly put on great shows, and they are constantly giving us new talent, and those performers are always getting over. So yeah, I would agree.
If I had a bell, I would ring it for you, just like our friend Mr. Rotella.
Yeah.
I would have given you a ring right there. So yeah, man. I like them. When I first started watching that, and it wasn't that long ago, Daze kind of turned me on to that. I absolutely thought it was great. Really reminded me of my childhood watching wrestling. I love the crowd interaction. I love the wrestlers interacting back and forth with the crowd. I love the matches. I love the time limits. And there are plenty of wrestlers I like. Who's some of your favorite athletes in NWA?
Oh well, easy one, Thunder Rosa, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And loving Question Mark and Aaron Stevens as well.
Yes. Yes.
It's very old school gimmick. Love it.
Yes, absolutely. Did you listen to our Thunder Rosa interview?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was great. We really enjoyed that. Very, very. I love talking to the superstars because they really give you an inside, and her talk about how she made it and got to where she is really motivating, because it really tells you how she kind of started at the bottom, and putting a ring together and all that kind of stuff, and getting up to where she is now was a really awesome story. Absolutely. And the question mark, oh, absolutely. I mean, who would have thought? And I think we talked about this with Gary Horn. A gimmick like that, Gary was saying when he first saw that, he thought, "What the heck is this?" But look, it works. The backstory, and obviously we've got Monrovia and and listen, I love his vignettes. I watch them online. The Mongrovian video store, tremendous. I absolutely love it. And Aaron Stevens, yes, I love it, man. And I'm in. I really hope that the time off doesn't damage them. They just hit 200,000 subscribers. I know they talked about that this past week. Now they're starting something new called Carney Land. I want to say it's called. I think that's what it's called. Don't know what that's going to be, but we're going to find out this coming Tuesday. I'm guessing it's wrestling related. I have no idea what it is.
It sounds interesting.
It definitely does. Definitely does. Carnivals and all that kind of stuff could be very odd, very strange. I know Daze was saying he's the mayor and he was asking for positions for people. I told him I wanted to be the magician. Or it could be the bearded lady, maybe. I don't know. But
I've come to the Crime Watch leader.
Yep. See, there you go. There you go.
That's my position.
Oh man, yeah. I guess we'll see. I mean, look, at least they're going to have some content, and I guess that's really all that matters.
What I love the most about NWA at the minute is the stars and that the way they treat the fans on social media is fantastic. You feel like you're a part of something. You feel like you're a part of a family. So they just, whether or not they actually retweet or like a tweet, they go out of the way to interact with their fans, which is something what's missing with the major leagues at the minute. I think some of them could do with just toning it down, and not your main stars, because obviously they get 1,000 and odd messages every day, but some of your like NXT stars could definitely take a note and actually interact with the fans a little bit more.
That's a great point. And I think we've brought that up before in discussions about NWA, but that's a really great point you made. Look, I think a lot of it is contractual things where they may just not be able to do that kind of stuff. But listen, a lot of them who have a ton of followers and stuff like that, like on Twitter or wherever, there's many, many times where they're not running that account anyway, like someone else is running it for them. And if that's the case, why not do a little bit of fan interaction? I get it. People like Bray have millions of followers. They can't possibly respond to everyone that they get on there. But look, and he does it. You go on, you like a few posts, you retweet a couple posts, even doing things like that. Yeah. I agree. I think that's one thing that the NWA definitely got right. And whether that came from Billy Corgan or David Lagana, to talk to his people and say, hey, listen, the fans are everything. So let's go out and let's interact with the fans. Yeah, brilliant. I totally agree there. Totally agree. How about AEW or NXT?
NXT, I've started watching them a lot more over the last, about 6 months. Okay. I wasn't really able to watch it because when they switched over to BT here in England from Sky, Sky didn't have NXT on the scheduling. But when it switched over to BT, I started watching NXT then. So AEW, I can't watch. I've only got two. I've got my TV on my phone and my main two devices. So to try and run a third one, I can't do it. I just haven't.
I gotcha. Okay.
So it's like I do the NXT streams with Daze, but I listen to his commentary on the AEW stuff. So I keep up to date with it.
Okay.
I don't generally watch it. So
I gotcha. Well, that's awesome, man. So, what I guess, what did you think about we had some breaking news. Did you enjoy we'll ask you a 2-part question here. Did you enjoy Money in the Bank? And then what did you think about Becky?
Money in the Bank, absolutely loved it.
Me too. Yeah,
really great show. Loved how short it was. Yep. Don't really need these long-winded pay-per-views. I really wish that they took Raw back down to 2 hours. 3 hours is way too long for a TV show, I think. Loved the ladder match. Loved the cinematic side of it. Would have loved commentary once they got to ring. I think you touched on this on your Lost episode.
We did, yes. We did. We did.
I just felt that when Corbin threw the two guys, Ray and Alistair Black, off the roof, that needed commentary. That it lost any kind of momentum once he did it because there was nothing, there to. Oh my God, you know what I mean? That definitely needed a commentator, like a JR or even.
That's what I think I said. Look, even if they would have used my falling off the building side effect that I put in that show, yes, anything. Come on, give us something. Two guys just went over a roof to their death. I
saw on Twitter a video of they've showed the Rey Mysterio and his old theme tune was playing. His first one when he joined WWE.
Oh, jeez.
So they played that one, as he were falling off. So,
and then of course we got Alistair.
Perfect timing.
We got Alistair Black in the ghost hood too, which was really funny.
Oh yeah, I wish they'd have done something comedic on that front instead of them just turning up. Oh, we only fell 6 feet. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
I agree.
They should have done something a little bit more funny. It would have been more realistic then to what they'd actually done.
I agree.
It kind of failed there for me.
Yeah, but I Jeff and I both agree. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a fun pay-per-view to watch, all around. Not really many clunker matches, and I also agree with you. In fact, I had a little discussion on Twitter today about that, about whether I think it was James Chadwick. I want to shout him out. I think he was talking about it too.
Good luck.
And how Vince McMahon had said he wants to cut them, and I'm not opposed to that. I think we get too much. And I think when they do too much more, it becomes filler. And then you get matches that just aren't good.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's like, you look at Raw and how many matches are pointless. Mm-hmm. You get 6-man tags for no good reason. Yeah. Other than, they're just there.
Yeah.
They need to cut it out and make matches what means something. I mean, the feuds that we used to get back in the day, the feuds now, Roman Reigns coming down to the ring and challenging Goldberg. I mean, that's your feud.
Exactly.
That's not. It's just not the same anymore. You know,
Agreed.
They need to be more creative. I don't really care if they go cheesy, as long as it's creative and it gets to a point where you get a match what means something. So,
yeah, that's absolutely true. There's no, there's no build up to it. If someone wants the belt, they just come out and say they want it.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that. It's not. I've been brought up watching wrestling for, like I say, 50 odd years, and that is just lazy writing for me.
I agree. So what did you think about Becky's big announcement, and where do you think that leaves the whole the women's division?
Well, congratulations to Becky for one.
Sure.
Yeah, that was massive news. I liked how they did it with the belt. I don't know if they actually planned the title to be in the briefcase with it being pre-taped. I think they just put that in recently to tie in the storyline.
Sure.
Yeah, the female division, I think they're pushing Liv Morgan now slowly in the background to take a higher spot. I hope they do something with her because she is showing promising signs, like having her in matches against Charlotte Flair and Asuka. She didn't do too bad. So hopefully they can start pushing some stars from NXT up to maybe replace Becky for a while. So yeah, I think it could be good for that division, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. I think they gave it to the right person. Asuka has a personality, and she's
been brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
She's been brilliant during this period of time. She's really shone. Easy peasy. One of my favourite things what she said so far. So yeah.
Again, the comedy that she brings, obviously, like I said, the personality that she has, and then she's good. Look, she's a good wrestler. She has been for a while. She was really good in NXT, and so deserving. And I agree with you about Liv. I always liked her. I think she's got something, and I think she just needed something to show it. And like you said, she had really good matches against two of the top people. So I agree with you. I hope that there's going to be a push coming for her as well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for like Ruby Wyatt and that to push her, and like Natalia as well.
Yep.
To put on matches with her and get her over. They've got high hopes for her.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would agree.
Whether or not we've seen the end product yet, probably not. I think there's a few more changes, a few more tweaks in her character, what needs to be done. But then, I don't know. I don't know what time frame they've got with her. But once they do push her, I think she'll do great. So.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, man. I agree. So what do you? I mean, you've been to live events. Obviously, you've been watching wrestling for a long time. Are you okay with the setup it is? I mean, obviously, no one's okay with the setup that's out there now with the no fans. But I mean, what are you thinking of the not having fans in the building? And what makes you excited about when all of this business is said and done, and we could go back to having people in the buildings again? What do you like? You know, are you enjoying anything without them maybe a little bit more, or are you just really ready to have fans back in the building on TV?
To be honest, at first it kind of bothered me because, yeah, it just wasn't the same. I think wrestling needs a crowd response. Where's the pop? You know, getting a crowd reaction just seems to elevate the stars a little bit more, makes them perform a little bit better. But yeah, to be honest, now I barely notice. I mean, I try and concentrate on what they're showing me with the in-ring performances. I mean, watching like Bailey, way that she's like taught smack throughout the matches, you know, when she's having to and fro with Michael Cole.
Yep.
I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Just being able to hear them communicate while they're wrestling as well that's very intriguing. Because we don't, obviously, with crowds being there, you don't really get to hear that. So that's an interesting side to it.
It is. Yep, very interesting. And a point we asked this question of a lot of people in the community, and that's a good point. You don't hear that. A lot of times, you know, the wrestlers are doing that kind of stuff in the ring, and you know, the fans are so loud that you don't ever hear it really. So it is interesting to hear that kind of stuff. You also, like you were saying, you get the reactions. I know when Funhouse Bray came out in his match against Braun, he was interacting with the announcers and saying, you know, hello, you do such a good job at the beginning. So yeah, it definitely, you know, it seems that they're really kind of finding a way around it. I know the other leagues are doing it as well. AEW, they've done it with some wrestlers out in the crowd scattered around a little bit, and you know, so they've done it a little bit differently. But yeah, it's I guess it's like anything else, you know, a change in it. Everybody is not going to enjoy the change, but then the more it goes on, you know, you kind of get used to it as the norm. And yeah, you don't miss it as much.
Yeah, I just expect when you do get the crowds back that, you know, like the hacker storyline, I really hope that, you know, if they have got something big planned for that I hope they draw it, you keep it going until they get live crowds back. So that if it is a big star, what's behind it all, it gets the pop that it deserves. I mean, one guy, what I kind of wished did have the crowd reaction at the minute is Edge. I think he's come back just at the wrong time. I mean, he got the massive pop at the Royal Rumble, but his match against Orton should have got a lot more crowd reactions and that to it. I think what made that match, I don't know, a bit long or a bit boring for most people is because there was no crowd present in the arenas and that. So, you know, I think it's his comeback more than anything. So.
Yeah, I agree. There are people that can definitely benefit from it. I mean, I felt bad for Drew because, you know, obviously, yeah, I mean, your big WrestleMania moment, and you don't get, you know, what you would have gotten, and obviously we don't know, but I'm sure he would have gotten a really huge crowd reaction at the end, and so yeah, there's definitely, you know, the people that you do feel for that kind of missed out on that. So it is, you know, it is kind of a shame that's the case. But, well, you know what? Hopefully, I mean, this too shall pass, and eventually it's going to end, and we're going to get back to the way it used to be. So what? I mean, if there's any one thing, and we could just end it on a general question, I guess. If there's any one thing you would change personally about wrestling, and it doesn't matter which company it is or anything like that, what would be the biggest thing that you would change if you could?
Oh, that's a good question.
Loaded question. We always have to ask a loaded question. You got the horror one easy, so we always have to give you one loaded question.
maybe just to think more or less on the storylines. I mean, it's more targeted at WWE rather than like AEW. I think some of the storylines in AEW are fine, but WWE haven't really worked on the proper storylines. Did you see, like we've talked about earlier, about Roman Reigns just going out and challenging Bill Goldberg? We just need more of a build-up. I think there's too many pay-per-views. I think it needs to go back to a standard 3 or 4, maybe, you know, your main ones, and plus Money in the Bank, and then just odd specials now and again, but not every month. I think it's killing it. I've been thinking that for a long time, to be fair. Just no major build for major storylines. Like looking at like 1992 and, you know, the Randy Savage Ultimate Warrior feud. And that started from Royal Rumble right up to the WrestleMania that year. Mm-hmm. And you didn't have matches in between them. You had Randy attacking him so that Ultimate Warrior lost his title to Sergeant Slaughter. And then they had the match at WrestleMania. There were no matches in between them. I think the payoff matches are not as much a payoff now because you've seen it too many times. So you're not getting that main payoff that you did when, like in the 90s and that, when storylines meant something. So, yeah, that side of it I'd change.
Great points. Absolutely great points. Let's go back to some Saturday night's main event, man. Let's have something like that, you know. You don't necessarily need all these, you know, gigantic once a month, end of the month pay-per-views. You know, let's go back to something a little bit different. And yeah, no, man, I agree with you. Well, that's awesome, buddy. So, well, hey, listen, tell everybody out there where they could find Dave. I know you're on Twitter. Where can they look for you on social media, and where can they find you if they want to send you a DM and chat about wrestling?
All right, so Twitter's grifted. Just find my name, Dave in real life. I'm also on Instagram. Different name though. It's Cop Blocker. Which is, I'm a Liverpool fan, so Cop is a stand at the Liverpool football ground. So, yeah.
Nice.
So
there you go.
And I'm also on Facebook as Dave Garment. Yeah, that's my name, my real name. So,
okay.
Like Dave in real life is Dave Garment.
There you go. Well, there you go, guys. Look, Dave has been like I said, he's a member of the community, longtime member. He comes into the streams all the time. So if you see Dave in the streams, definitely give him a shout. And we got to spend some time, learn a little bit about Dave. And there you go. Dave's another horror fan and a Fiend fan, which seems to be a theme with a lot of us in the community. So that's awesome. So, Dave, man, we appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been brilliant. So
awesome, very good. Anytime, man, anytime. And Jeff and I will see you in the community then.
Yeah, no problems.
All right, buddy. Well, you stay safe and take care, man.
Yeah, same to you guys.
Thanks, bud.